Hello, my name is Arthur, and in this video we're going to briefly talk about the orientation of models exported from Blender. So I was looking around on how to get my 3D model moving the way that I want it to move, and one of the things that I stumbled across was a mention of an asset from an asset pack that was facing in the wrong direction. And then that tutorial went on to say that the proper direction, the move direction in Godot, should be along -z. Now, what that would mean is that this gizmo here, Z, or an arrow for Z, right here, would be pointing in a positive direction. So if the vehicle is pointing in the opposite direction as the blue arrow, then it's pointing in the right direction. My model in my last export into Godot was facing in the wrong direction. So let's look at it like this. This is what we see when we press number 1 on the number pad. This is the front view. The front view, we should be looking down the barrel. In the side view, it should be pointing right. And that's not the way that mine was. Mine was pointing right in a front view. And that is wrong. So let's just look in Blender quickly and get an idea for why that is. So we'll look in this file. Now, this is the direction that my tank was facing when it was exported from Blender into Godot. Now, if we look in the export settings, we can get an explanation, and maybe I can put to rest that the issue of what direction my model should be facing when I export them. And I guess other people already know, but because I found the comment regarding an asset pack that was downloaded, I'd imagine that I'm not the only person who runs into this issue. So when we export from Blender for Godot, there's a transform that happens. It transforms to positive Y up. So let's look at that in Blender. In Blender, positive Z is up. The move direction for Godot is actually facing down. And the up direction is pointing in positive Y. So this arrow is pointing in positive Y, and we can tell from the gizmo the Y is on the positive, the Z is on the positive, and my vehicle is facing -X. Now, in order to have the vehicle facing in the proper direction, after the spatial conversion, after the transform of the space from Z up to Y up, the tank needs to be facing in the direction that Z down, or -Z, will be facing once Y is pointing up. So the direction it will be facing can be determined by just looking at it. So we'll rotate on X 90 degrees. So that's the direction that the vehicle should be facing. So what I've done is I've taken my version of this model that has the track animation on it, and I've reoriented it properly, exported it back into Godot, and rebuilt the tank. So now the tank doesn't have an extra scene attached to it. The animation for the tread is happening right in the tank, so it's all one scene now. And I've just added an extra animation player and rebuilt all the collision shapes and stuff to end up at this place. So hopefully that is helpful. Maybe a little late in the game for me to be going, oh, well, my model was pointing in the wrong direction. But yeah, my model was pointing in the wrong direction, and that's why we have erasers on the back side of pencils, right? Because mistakes happen, and personally I consider them to be opportunities, because now I'm not likely to forget what direction my model should be pointing in now that I've come across that mistake. So that's it for this video. In the next video we'll come back and we'll look at how I got this guy moving on the scene. And until then, take care.